Happy Sunday, everyone. Here we are, already entering week 4. Can you believe it? We are getting close to the halfway point of the course already. So, I want to start today's announcement with a few reminders. First, each time I return an assignment to you, remember that I return it not just with a grade, but also with a scored rubric and with some personal feedback. So please take the time to review both the rubric and my comments, um, because they're intended to help you improve. It is my expectation and it's your responsibility as students to apply the feedback to your next assignment. In other words, I shouldn't be giving you the same feedback at the end of the course as I was at the beginning, because between those 2 points, you should be learning from the possible improvements that I have been pointing out to you. If you're ever unsure about anything that I've written to you in my feedback, please reach out and just ask me. On that note, I want to remind you that I'm happy to speak with you over the phone to explain concepts or answer any questions that you may have. It doesn't just have to be about the feedback that I've given you. It can be on your scored work, of course, but it can be on upcoming assignments. It can be on anything else that you may need. In my experience, calls with students have always been really helpful. I totally get that sometimes it's easier to just talk through things with a live person rather than it is to, write back and forth to one another via email or what have you. So please don't hesitate to reach out and take advantage of this method of communication if you feel like it's what you need. Video conferencing is always a possibility as well. Um, so your writing assignment for this week is significantly different from those of previous units in that it is directly connected to the writing assignments that are going to be coming in our last few weeks of the course. Your task this week is to write the introduction to your argument essay, which in its entirety is going to be due at the end of Unit 7. If that sounds a little overwhelming to you, please don't worry. You've been working towards this. And, it should also be a little bit easier and possibly more fun and more interesting as well, for you to work through this assignment, because this task, unlike your previous assignments, will give you some freedom of choice when it comes to your topic. And specifically, you're going to be writing about one of three issues or questions, which are all very timely and relevant. So it's: should cancel culture be encouraged or eliminated? Should voting be required of all eligible students, or eligible citizens? Um, and should all high school seniors be required to take a gap year before they, pursue any post-secondary education? So as I mentioned, you're starting to work on your final essay, and you may be wondering, why? Why are you starting so early when the final draft isn't going to be due for a few more weeks? The reason for this is because starting now is going to give you the chance to revise your introduction based on my feedback prior to submitting your full final draft in Unit 7. And it may also inspire you to change your mind or change your approach or your point of view when it comes to the topic that you choose to explore. But in short, the work that you will do this week is going to impact what happens throughout the rest of the course for you. So, please take the time to read the assignment instructions carefully and do your best. The more effort you put in now, I think, the better feedback I'll be able to provide you with, which in turn is going to give you more to work with as you compose your argument essay and work toward the final draft. Now, for this week's discussion board, you'll be talking about the differences between facts and opinions. And you'll be doing that by taking a close look at some news articles that you will be locating yourself. So that means you're going to be choosing some of your own reading in addition to choosing, your own writing topic. So try to find an article about a topic that that you find interesting and that you think others will find interesting as well. Um, I want to provide you with a few more reminders. Sorry, I have a lot of reminders today. Um, this one is a bit of a repeat, but please read the feedback that I provide to you on your discussion participation. Please use the feedback. Um, every discussion has a discussion prompt. Please answer all parts of the prompt. If the prompt answers 2 questions, answer both questions, not just one. If it asks 3 questions, answer all 3 questions, not just one or two. And make sure that you're responding in full detail. Um, by their nature and sort of intentionally, these are not easy questions, so they don't have easy answers. They don't have short answers. They require some thought and they require some detail to really explain them in a fair way. That is, in a way that is fair to the question and the topic at hand. So take your time, really think about it, and provide us with a robust, a fair response. Um, when it comes to interacting with your peers after you've made your initial post, use your peer responses to ask questions, to introduce new ideas, to share resources. Please don't just use your peer responses to indicate your agreement, or to briefly state your opinion, or to tell someone that they've done a good job. Those are all nice things. Those may be part of your response to your peers, um, but you really do need to go beyond that. Keep in mind that the whole point of our discussions is to learn from one another, is to dig a little bit deeper into the unit readings and the unit topics, um, and really for the discussion to end up being as important a part of the unit and as an important a part of your learning as anything else in the course. Um, to that end, please respond to others who respond to you. Okay, so if I respond to your initial post with some follow up questions, please answer my questions. If your peers respond to your initial post with any follow up questions or clarifying questions, please answer those questions. Please don't let their responses to you kind of hang there unanswered. Okay. Um, I imagine that when you ask, your peers questions, you expect that they're going to respond to you. The same is true in turn. It goes both ways. And really, that's the only way that we're going to maximize the effectiveness of our discussions is by interacting. Okay. And finally, you have another journal this week as well. So please don't forget about that. Journal works the same way as the previous one. As long as you meet the expectations of the journal, then you will get full credit. So that's about it. Have a great week, everyone. And I wish you all a successful Unit 4.